Hey there. Before we get started, I just wanted to come on and ask you all a favor. In our research, we've discovered that the vast majority of you do not actually like and subscribe to our podcast. And so, if I could ask you to do so, I won't ask you for anything else. And I promise to make this podcast the best I can every day. Me and the team really strive to do that for you. And so, if you could do this for us, we would be eternally grateful. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Mikkel Weber, founder and auteur of House of Peregrine. Expat, immigrant, pioneer, none of these were a fit, but Peregrine describes what we are all about perfectly. Those that craft their life story with intention. I've spent the last 6 years in awe of the life-changing connections and stories I have experienced while living abroad, and believe it is time for this adventure to be recognized, celebrated, and elevated to the life stage that it is. Through these interviews, I hope to connect those living internationally more deeply to both the place they are living and with themselves and those around them. We cover everything from international finances and meaning-making to global parenting and relationships to make your time abroad more intentional, edifying, and full of beauty. Find us at houseofperegrine.com, where you can find more ways to connect with the ethos of Peregrine. I hope you enjoy today's guest. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome today to the House of Peregrine podcast. I'm joined today with Patrick De Jongh and Haylin from When Nature Calls Center for Self-Optimization. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. This is such a beautiful space and right in the center of Amsterdam. I love what you guys are up to, and I want to hear and get to that. But first, I want you to introduce the space to me and what it's all about. I mean, let's start with you, Patrick.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome here as well. It's a pleasure. I'm Patrick, the founder of When Nature Calls. I started this business in 1998 with just an idea with friends. We were drunk. And normally you don't have, you have a wild idea, but it never comes to reality. And then, but I felt from the moment in the beginning, this is what we have to do. This is a new era. Because in Amsterdam, you also work with license. I was afraid that if we lose this train, the license gets stopped and we're not on board. So immediately the next day we start looking for a space. And then I believe 3 days later, we had the key and started this business.
Wow, that's what you call alignment.
Yeah, and that was 1998. Yeah.
So 1998, place us in that time in Amsterdam, if you would, because now we know that more and more psychedelics and adaptogens in general are much more mainstream than they were. But in 1998, was Amsterdam the only place you could legally?
As far as I know, yes, except maybe for South American countries, which was more like a shamanistic or maybe in the culture thing. I don't know yet, but I don't know if it was completely legal by law. But as far as I know, it was a gap at that time for the Netherlands to start a business with psychedelics. Yeah, it was not listed. But you have to remember that in that days, the 90s, was the big renaissance of house music, which is coming also, of course, started in Chicago, then came over to Amsterdam. A lot of people were taking like ecstasy kind of products, and we were starting this business to have an alternative against the illegal chemical substance. So that was the base foundation of starting the business Smart Shop. There was a guy who started the business earlier, and he found out that he started the Smart Shop to get you even smarter with all kinds of natural substance, plant medicine. And then somebody was handing over these mushrooms, magic mushrooms. And then he said, I believe it's not falling under any kind of law. So maybe you can sell it. So they start selling it, and lawyers were looking into it, and it was fine by then. And that's how it all started. So we were starting with the magic mushrooms, which was a complete new thing. And on the other side, we had, of course, all the alternative for the illegal kind of drug substance. And then through the years, it did change a little bit because some substance were not. The government took them out. They would get listed. And then also the use of psychedelics changed, especially starting from the pandemic. We noticed a lot of changes was going on more into the microdosing instead of like the recreational kind of dose. We were already starting before the pandemic with microdosing as well. And we noticed also there is a new kind of era and you see it sometimes every 7 years. There comes a new kind of thing. It looks like. So immediately I jumped into it and try to figure out how we can put it better in the market. And then eventually we end up here to open the new facility, the Biohacking Center for Self-Optimization, where we have more the focus for mental well-being. So
that's where we are today.
And that's where we are today. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And I want to ask you this, and then we'll get to your introduction, Haylin. Is what was that first experience like, or what was your background before that? Like, you were obviously.
I was more coming from a business school, so I was more study with economics. As from a child, I was already selling all kinds of stuff. I was more like a business guy than really interested in like psychedelics. But during the way, I found my way in psychedelics as well. Of course, in the beginning, I had to experience it myself because the product, what you're selling, you have to know about it. But in the beginning, I was just selling. And then through the years, we found out more the secrets and more the potential benefits of the psychedelics world, the product itself.
Yeah. And so would you say that the business grew from your just pure business?
Yeah, in the beginning it was really a business opportunity.
So you just saw it, you're like, oh.
Yeah, I saw the gap. And like I said, I noticed that we were, I believe, the third or the fourth smart shop who was opening in Amsterdam in that time. So it was really new. But I felt immediately this is a really gap in the industry, a nice business opportunity in the beginning. Yeah, absolutely.
And so it didn't come from some like deep spirit, like you didn't have a journey and someone told you. Like, there's there's a lot of lore.
Yeah.
And so I love that you're bringing this.
Yeah. I was just 26 also. I was quite young.
You were 26.
I was 26 when I started this business. So, and then you're just a free guy who was living a dream kind of. I had a good family background and was doing fine. And I saw the business opportunity and it grew from there. And then later you're going to be more mature and then learn about this world behind it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. And thanks for the introduction. I'd love to imagine what Amsterdam was like in 1998. Like that would be really fun to transport there here today.
Yeah. For me, it was a great time. Yeah, it was really great. I had a great time. There was no house music was booming. Everybody was joining, and there was no wars, no trouble in the world. Everybody was fine. Yeah, it was a really good time for me.
A good time to be in Amsterdam.
A good time to be in Amsterdam for me. I don't know how different people will experience it, but for me, it was a great time. Yeah,
and that's when your smart shop was born.
Yeah,
and the spirit in which it.
Yeah.
Haylin, you are a big part of what we're doing at When Nature Calls. So tell me, I don't want to leave Amsterdam in 1998.
No.
Fast forward to tell us your story and finally you ended up here.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being part of our community here at When Nature Calls. We're super lucky to have you on board. A little bit like Patrick, really, I love fresh perspectives and I love really personally the intersection of well-being and business. I was born in New Zealand and actually quite a conservative background, which is now quite funny considering what we're doing.
Does your family know?
They know part of it. So I was born in New Zealand. I grew up there, but I had the amazing opportunity to study abroad in China and also in Spain. So I left home at 15. And then now I've been in the Netherlands for the past almost 6 years, and I came here to study, actually. So I've kind of entered this in a bit more of an academic route.
Yeah, what were you studying?
What was I studying? Yeah, it's a little while ago, but not too long ago. I was studying clinical psychology with more of a specialization on neuroscience, and I wrote my thesis on microdosing and gut health. But then I started working here. I still love the academic side of it, but I fell in love with the business side and learning how that intersects with well-being. So I went back and did a master's in business management.
So you're both, I love this combination of pragmatism and passion for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And almost an academic way of looking at it. I wouldn't say, I love all parts of this industry, but this is a part that I haven't had as much experience with. So it's really nice to hear your stories. So you're a true peregrine, Haylin. We always say peregrines exist on every continent of the world, but the word means outsider. So you've been Shanghai, the Netherlands, and you left home at 15.
Yes.
What was that like? It's so far away.
Yes.
My sister almost moved there, and I was like, you could have moved to the moon.
Yeah.
It's so far.
It's so far. I mean, and in a way, there's actually a lot of parallels with psychedelics and altered states of consciousness there.
Yeah. And so what led you to then microdosing and having an interest in that? Was it just recreational use, and then that was a natural step for it? Tell us the story about that.
Yeah, I also find I'm really happy with how I got into microdosing and psychedelics at large. So I was reading all these research papers and I thought, oh, well, there's actually some really compelling evidence here, but I have to try it because otherwise I don't know. So I can read all my books and I can read all the papers, but until I try it and experience it, who am I to make an opinion on it? So I tried it, and the first time I had a very nice few hours staring at my houseplant. So that was a little bit too much. I'll never forget it. Missed my lecture, but that's fine. No, so that's how I got into it, just trial and error. And then I really found that it helps just so much with a lot of the busyness of being a student here in the Netherlands. You're expected to do a lot. The workload is intense. So I found that it helped me with that. And then that led to full doses as well. Yeah.
This you developed the personal relationship with how it worked for you, and then took your research there.
Yeah, exactly.
Thesis. And that's really interesting. So was this something you're doing with other people, or were you just kind of an early adopter in your sphere, doing it kind of on your own?
Yes. Yeah. No, I got a lot of concerned friends asking if I was okay because I was microdosing truffles. No, I think it was quite an early thing to do. So that was now 5 years ago. I mean, people have been microdosing for much longer than that, but I think relatively it was really in the beginning of it here.
Well, it matters where you're from and how that's taken and all these things. And I know in our community, we have a lot of people who haven't done things because they're illegal. And so now they're trying them to first time in a place that's legal. And of course, that's changing around the world now, where it's becoming legal in more and more places.
Yeah.
When I first moved here almost 9 years ago, there was a few places around the world, but this was one of the places that was legal. And so that is a major, I think the Netherlands is known for this being kind of place where there are a lot of experts, or it's the place that's doing a lot of research or these sorts of things. So I think what you guys are doing here is a really nice entry for people who may have never tried this or have been curious, but don't necessarily want to go on a full retreat or do a full dose.
Exactly. I think like what Patrick set up with When Nature Calls was to make it approachable and clean and trustworthy. And my background coming more from like evidence-based research, I think really complements that well. But at the end of the day, you want people to walk in off the street and feel like they can see part of themselves in When Nature Calls, which I don't think is the case for every smart shop or everywhere that you're going to buy these kind of products.
Did you know that House of Peregrine has an app? It is full of resources, information, and products to make life as an international more connected and more intentional. As a member of House of Peregrine, you also now have access to exclusive discounts, products, guides, and events to make life more fun and connected. Simply download the app at houseofperegrine.com and save it to your home screen. Okay, back to the show. Yeah, and I think that matters. And so, Patrick, what were you noticing in you've had a smart shop since 1998, you know?
Yeah.
That is a long time. You know a lot about it.
Yeah.
So tell me the evolution. So your smart shop was a hilarious name. I've never thought of it this way. It is, you guys named it this in 1998 as a way to get smarter. Just start.
Yeah. But
inevitably you're
sorry?
Inevitably you're also dealing with a lot of tourism.
Yeah, but in my opinion, it took a wrong turn. A lot of shops were more focusing on just short-term, fast-selling, aggressive marketing, focusing more on like tourists as well. And that's during the time, it was annoying me a little bit. I thought, why can't we have it? It is always the same. It always has this stigma and this cliche kind of approach to sell these kind of products. Even I see what's going on in even Canada or in the US in some states, I see the same repeats all over and all over. They always approach it as a dodgy kind of place where you feel you're buying drugs and not as like a plant medicine or like a supplement. And I don't know if it came because I'm getting older. I don't know. But I think also my business mind is working in this place. I thought, why can't we have a different approach where it's more accessible, more for every gender, for every person, age, it doesn't matter. When they're walking and feeling like normally served as a normal product. And maybe also as a luxury kind of product, because it's also a kind of luxury that the product, because the product brings you somewhere. It's not just a candy what you take. So you have to put a little bit more effort into it, and a little bit more service, a little bit more quality as well. So I thought, okay, we need to change the whole shop. It triggered me also a little bit because in the 20s, I saw some dispensaries in the US were opening up, and some of them really looked like an Apple store. They were beautiful. And then it hit me. I thought, okay, why don't we do it here? You know, a barbershop usually looks like a barbershop, and a grocery shop looks always like a grocery shop, but try to do it different, to stand out from the rest. And slowly it developed to what it come to this concept. But in the beginning, I was changing the other one, so it makes it more accessible, more clean looking, more high end. And then also I became a little bit more selective with the brands I'm working with, because everybody, of course, especially in the Netherlands, they're all working with the same companies and the same wholesale distribution. I thought, okay, we have to look over the border what's going on there. So I was looking also in different places in the world where we can maybe import some products by myself. Especially from the US, I saw different brands had the same idea approaching of a product. Of course, they also sell products which looks very aggressive and always looks psychedelic. But there were also brands which you're selling really cool brands. I thought, wow. And that wow factor, that's for me, my drive. And you need to come in a shop or whatever you go, you need to have that wow effect. And this is the first 2 or 3 seconds are very important. So if you come to the shop, it needs to have clean windows. All the lights need to be active and working. The staff needs to be perfect, dressed up. For me, every piece of the puzzle is very important. And that makes it to a complete good picture and a high-end brand, because I'm building a brand. So through the years, I noticed also, I get in contact also with some companies who were interested also doing some white label. And I thought, okay, because I think your packaging is ugly and is not sustainable, or too much plastic, because now as well, there is a lot of microplastic things going on. So I thought, okay, we need to change that. So slowly it also came on my pathway, and I get the opportunity to change also some things. So then I start develop my own packaging as well. And that helps, of course, to building the brand even more. And I noticed the reactions of the customers were overwhelming, and they keep coming back. And more companies approach me from, hey, listen, could we collaborate or partner or whatever? And so slowly it had a natural flow of growing till this point where we are now, even with this completely new concept as well.
Yeah. Would you say, I think another way to put it, how I'm thinking about it, is like set and setting starts when you're buying a product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Correct.
We all know that any kind of adaptogen or psychedelic, set and setting is the most important.
Absolutely.
Part of what you'll experience.
Yeah.
There is a valid part where you just want to buy a party drug and you want to go in the shadows and buy it in a doctor's store. Totally not.
Yeah.
That's not very approachable for most people.
No.
So this is maybe democratizing or opening up to more people. Does that?
Exactly. Yeah. Because we see, of course, in the whole world is decriminalizing, and people are. You see, more countries are able to do clinical trials as well. So there is more study and there's more information coming. So there's more published, and also people read about it more, and how the bits of this benefits of psychedelics helps for particular kind of issues. So then also. I don't want to say normal people, but there is more interest by society. It's more accepted also by society, instead of then see it as a junkie or a hippie, or
So I think Steve Jobs did a good job of bringing.
Yeah, exactly.
Beginning of the mass, and then the tech leaders, and then you hear about these things.
Yeah.
Shamans, like there's all sorts of journeys now that lead to it.
Yeah.
And that's happened over the.
But also the technology. Don't forget, of course, the internet also is a big part of it, because now we have access to publication on the other side of the world, let's say New Zealand, We see what's going on there. There is also information there, or a nice product there, or whatever. So it's more accessible worldwide.
Yeah.
And that's probably changed the path quite a bit of actually.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I think we really take the responsibility when it comes to set and setting to also not overly put ourselves in that person's journey, right? We're also never going to make therapeutic claims about what we're able to do. And there was a really interesting, I'll interject with a little study here, but there was an amazing study a few years ago that looked about what media they showed people before they went into a psychedelic experience and how that affected the journey. And for this one, they used Disney characters. And for most people, they actually had like these visions of Mickey Mouse, of Donald Duck, because they were primed with them. So on a kind of a different level, but we really take that on board in a way in the store, that we, both in the store and in the center, don't overly, advertise and market that there's these crazy visuals on our packaging, or there's these insane, expectations about what's going to happen. Having a nice, neutral, clean, elegant space really supports the set and setting that we strive to offer our customers.
Yeah, it doesn't overly influence, like you said.
Exactly.
It actually makes it more of a personal experience. It's
Exactly.
almost like a blank slate.
Exactly.
But it brings so much more value to the product and to the experience, and then the feedback you get from is much more appreciated.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I love how you've gone on this journey of being a smart shop and then seeing it for the internet. And well, the internet was there, we all know, but like,
not as big as,
yeah. And so on this journey of going from a smart shop, which is a smaller store, if people don't know, in Amsterdam and now more places around the world, there's these little places where you can go in and buy things from A to Z, right? Like adaptogens, psychedelic substances, whatever's legal.
Yeah.
So that journey from here to where we are now, just like a biohacking center of self-actualization.
Yeah.
Tell me what's different. I'm here in this space, but tell others.
Yeah.
What's different about this space and what the inspiration was for that.
Yeah. It also had a naturally grow flow kind of weight. We were at the Biohacking Summit, which is an organization from Finland who was doing some events here 2 times. We were there and we saw all kinds of new techniques like red light, but also oxygen tanks and also like ice baths and all kinds of supplements. The focus was, of course, bringing the best out of you by just simple techniques,
right?
And which you can combine with our plant medicine products. But I thought, okay, this is only in a weekend. Why don't we have a shop like it's through the whole year, where you can go, where you can talk, get some information, build a community as well.
Just recreate that feeling of being at the conference where you had like such a condensed, amazing amount of people who are so passionate. You had your biohackers, but you had a lot of shamans also visited. So
there was a really big energy going on there. So I thought, okay, that was one part of it. The other part was because the transition was also going after the pandemic from using psychedelics more not as a recreational kind of dose, but more as a microdose. And since the pandemic, it accelerates it because a lot of people, they're having mental issues or they don't feel that well.
It's a big shift.
It was
before Corona.
Yeah, a big shift to me.
People shifted
in
all sorts of ways. Economy shifted.
Yeah.
The world shifted.
Yeah.
And so this was part of that you saw.
Exactly. It was the right moment and the right time. But then we get people in the shop at the counter who were, they want to talk to you a little bit more private. They had some issues going on, which they can't discuss at the counter. It's also...
You can't ask the internet. Like you can ask the internet, it might be...
Yeah. But there is, of course, the internet. Also, a lot of people, they are done with all these Zoom calls and they want to meet just face to face a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So we thought, okay, there is a big need for more like a private setting. Mm-hmm. We are already supplying all kinds of psychologists here in Amsterdam, or therapists who are using our products as well. And we thought, okay, maybe we have to look into it as well to just create a kind of space where we can maybe pick it up in as well.
So it's that deepening.
The deepening and more, so the use of more like a health approach instead of like a recreational approach.
Yeah, so move to wellness.
More move to wellness.
Like
we are not a wellness. Yeah, but we're not like a wellness kind of spa but We are more like a wellness for the mental health performance.
Mental and somatic, I would say, because you guys have red light, you have
ice bath.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to check?
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you guys about in this journey of making it people come together in community. My personal experience was a bit like yours, Haylin, where I was like using Blue Lotus for the last 10 years and like trying to bring it to people and be like, try this. And they're like, you are crazy.
Yeah.
And doing it on your own and it has its own beautiful place. But there's something special about when you come and find another person doing whatever it is you're into at that time. So I had the experience when I came here. I did a class with Odin, and I never met anybody else who was using Kana in the way that I was. And so doing that class, it brought it to the next level. And I had a full journey in his class.
Nice.
And I'd never done that on Kana before. Of course, maybe the dose was different, blah, blah, blah. But having an experience.
Quality.
Setting.
Quality. Exactly. But there was something elevating about being in a class and moving your body and doing it with, we all know it kind of lifts the experience and to do it with other people.
Yeah.
And so this idea of bringing community in, I think it's really important. So can you explain, because you guys have classes that are with substance and without, you can do with or without.
Yeah.
And so bringing community and movement, it's natural, but was there any, you had to make the room. So there had to be some.
Well, no, yeah. The thing was that, it was not only, of course, the Biohacking Summit where we went to and we thought we need to have a space where you can come for the whole year. The business was also growing. We needed a better office. I had more ideas for marketing. I had more ideas for also bringing our own brand further, more products.
Because I can sense your obsessive quality from your last comment.
Yeah.
Attention to details.
Attention to details. Yeah.
Really are into that pure experience. So you want helping you find these things.
But I think it gives the best possible experience for our community.
Yeah.
Because someone walks in, and we went as far as curating a room scent, actually, that's inspired by mushrooms. But so little things like that, someone walks into the space, it's clean, the windows are washed, it smells beautiful. We kind of, I guess, give the framework for people to have that beautiful community experience. And again, just like we don't interject on people's psychedelic experiences, we don't overly influence how they experience our space. We, of course, take a lot of time and attention into who is teaching in the space and who's facilitating, but we leave it people to their own devices. And one of Patrick's most amazing ideas was to include a conversation pit, which we love.
Which we also utilize. We meet there a couple of times every month. But would you say that that's a value of yours? Like this freedom, or what would you say in the word is that you...
I don't know. I just have it in my mind. But it was also the opportunity there because I was looking first for another space, which was much smaller. That didn't go through. Eventually I found this place, and this place was a little bit too big in the beginning. But I was talking to the broker, and she mentioned, you can always facilitate this and you can always do this. And then I start, okay, wow. And then we can also do, for instance, a matcha bar, or we can do some cooking because we have a nice stove again with a nice luxury of an induction hidden under the shirt.
We need to have a B-roll over this.
I like the aesthetics, And, so I'm looking at it a little bit more in a kind of high end, but still feels natural. It still needs to blend in everywhere. So then we can also do a room with an ice bath to do cold plunge. And then we have an extra space where we can do also doing podcasts or Zoom meetings or business meetings, or we can do even a private space for a therapist to sit down with the person, or with a red light therapy, what we're doing. They can sit here in a private setting. So everything was growing. We can do this or this, and then we made a selection for what we could do. Still, we are doing and exploring as well what we can do more, because there are no boundaries in this kind of wellness industry. As long as it aligns a little bit, of course, our main vision. It needs to be naturally plant medicine kind of techniques. So bring it back to the source a little bit.
It strikes me that you are the type of person that just follow, you lead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that is...
And I watch trends and I see, okay, this is coming up here. Is this interesting also for us? Does it fit in the concept as well? New product or a new technique or a new kind of smoothie, whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think one of my biggest passions is acknowledging that there is a mental health crisis, and there's now at large also a health crisis, right? We're not just only having a mental health crisis. And the burden that that takes on society, coming from a business point of view as well, is enormous. And so for me to be able to maybe have some kind of impact on something like this that can take off that burden a little bit, that can help people. I mean, that's why we're called a self-optimization center. We don't want to be the last resort for people when traditional medicine or therapies haven't worked for them, but encouraging this mindset shift, like, why don't you just work on yourself for the fun of it? And why don't you just try and optimize? Not that you're depressed or you're broken, but you can do better.
and do you think that so for me, I see this in a lot of international people, there's extra burden. So there's different points in your life where there's extra burden. And so I think being proactive is maybe what I would want people to be, and proactive in making your life more optimize is one word, but also just recognizing that you're going through something. That is life. Everyone's going through something life. But then for our community, it's like you're doing something extra. And so take care of yourself. Live in your city. Come to Amsterdam and try this in a really safe way if it appeals to you. And so I think that's what I hear you saying is like, don't wait till you have a scary diagnosis or a burnout. This center is for everyday life.
Exactly. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle.
Yeah. And I think the company itself kind of functions like a very natural organism. That there is a trend and we adapt and we add something and we do this and we do that. It's not a very rigid structure. And I think so often when people come into a space like a spa or a hotel, whatever you want to call it, it's very rigid in what you can do. But here it's constantly evolving, constantly changing. I mean, you've been here quite a few times now. I think you have.
I might do your best estimate.
I think you are. But even in a few weeks, you'll see changes on our shelves. You'll see adaptations. And so that's also the culture that we promote.
And I would say that what I've found here is that you guys are really at the cutting edge. And so the trainers you have in here, the classes you're holding, they are at the cutting edge of what is being done in the space right now. Maybe in South American countries or where it's part of the culture, of course, that's a different set of cutting edge. But for what is commercially available every day, you guys are kind of at the cutting edge of these really advanced combinations of things going on, which I think is really important. But it's also a huge opportunity if you're in the city to try something you may have heard or wanted to or think you need in your life. But the internet is not a reliable source.
Not always, no. Social media doesn't always love our opinions.
Yeah, true.
And so that, I think, is what I love is that you guys are encouraging people to do this in a safe and sustainable way. Because it doesn't need to just be for the Steve Jobs or the Facebook.
No.
And don't forget, you don't have to book a full day or a full weekend. You can also just come in, do a class, sit down, have a chat, look into a supplement, whatever. And then you can go off and
but you leave affected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we hope. But I mean, some people might not. You might come for your 8 a.m. Pilates and then you're in, you're out, or that's just your interaction with us. We have tears. We have so many people who have very emotional experiences and so everything in between. But we hope people leave impacted. Yeah.
And do you have people who come and take a substance and don't feel anything?
Of course, because not every supplement is to feel immediately a result. Some supplements take time, but it's also just a piece of the puzzle. It's not only the supplement. We don't sell magic here. No. It is, you have to do all the other things as well. Of course, your good eating, take your meditation, sport, sleep, very important. All those little things that makes you a little bit step ahead for the rest.
Yeah, an analogy which I've been loving lately is that if you go to the gym and after one time you don't walk away with a six-pack, you're not upset. But it's the same thing if you're microdosing, if you're taking supplements, if you're doing a class, you don't expect or you shouldn't expect after one time that it's magically going to be fixed, right? So I think that's the mentality we're trying to teach people.
Business-wise, I'm looking still for that product.
Yeah.
Once we
just one product and you feel amazing.
Well, but it's also a mindset, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think people go to yoga, the endorphins are amazing. This is another deepening. And I would say, at least from where I come from, the United States, people are very desensitized. Mm-hmm. And so if they come in, it's easier to go for a 2-day retreat where you're taken out with mushrooms and you're that gets through. But sometimes these more subtle or more nuanced experiences don't always make it through the first time.
No, yeah. You have to integrate it in your daily life.
Yeah. But it's long-term,
results. It's a long-term.
way more sustainable for everyone involved.
And of course, we don't want to give people false hope because we're not selling magic.
You're selling experience. It's like a yoga class.
Yeah.
But it's also, for me, at least in my life, it's been a relationship I have with this. So I get curious about it. It finds me, like, then I find it on your shelf suddenly. Then I meet someone here. And so it closes the loop a little bit.
Exactly.
On if you see it as something you're having a relationship with.
Yeah.
Tylenol or a drug, I don't have a relationship with that.
No.
Like, that's a blunt object, which is perfectly super.
Yeah.
But I see this as a more integrated approach to my body, knowing my inner world. And I think that really dovetails well with living internationally, because you are having these moments of recognition where it's a constant mirror for you and what you've maybe raised with and the assumptions you have about yourself and your culture.
Absolutely.
So having these substances as a little bit of a support can help not ease it, deepen it, or make it more dimensional.
That's a really nice insight. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
You guys are
well done.
I've just come here and experience. But what I did notice when I first moved here is I had 3 small children. I wasn't going to go into a head shop. That was not my vibe.
No, exactly. No.
And not because I thought it was wrong. I just literally was a soccer mom. Like, I literally didn't have the skills to go into a smart shop.
No.
So a shop like this, where it's more approachable and just feels more open.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't doing something wrong.
No, exactly.
You take off my calf. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I respect it, but it felt dangerous to me.
Yeah.
So this for me feels like it's a soft landing.
But also I don't want to put the other shops, of course, in discredit, but it is they working on they don't do their best to get rid of the stigma as well. Because if you still keep selling all these items with big marijuana leaves on it, and then you still get that stigma, and you will attract also those people who are into that. But for me, I want to see the other side of the world. There is a lot of people out there who are looking for this kind of space, and I thought it was a new gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how pragmatic. You always take back to the pragmatism. I love it.
Yeah.
I will always take it to the spiritual. We're in a good conversation. But I think there is a place for it. So it is a shadow product. Like there is like it's people want to be bad at a certain point, right? And Amsterdam has that.
Yeah.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Come here and be.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're trying to change it.
Yeah.
But so there's a place for it. But what you're saying is the world is big and open for another kind of substances. Yeah, I totally agree.
The one more going to the source, raw food, or going into nature because of the shift from the pandemic, and of course worldwide there's a lot of things going on. So people are more looking for and spend time on themselves as well now instead of materialistic kind of objects.
Yeah, you only get one body.
Yeah,
it's shocking.
Yeah, it is shocking. So now, if we're in your center now, I think you have a really great base. And you have a community starting, leading cutting edge classes going on with substance or plant medicine. What is next in 20 years? If I were to sit down with you, Patrick, and you, Haylin, what are you looking back at and being so proud of? What is your vision?
Yeah, the vision is to expand to more cities and maybe also go international.
Definitely go internationally.
Definitely. I love to see.
Off we go.
Yeah, I love to see going to Barcelona, Milan, or to Berlin. Or we just met, of course, the girls from Denmark to have a place in Copenhagen. But also, the vision is also to expand it more even into hospitality. Maybe because this concept is perfectly to expand it in hospitality as well. So you have your base, but then in a nice, of course, Mediterranean country where it's a little bit more sunny than the Netherlands. But then you book a week or a weekend, and then you have really good food, raw food, original, natural food. You're hiking in the morning, meditation during the day, or your yoga classes, the supplements, and then getting unstressed from the stressy world as well, the rat race, what's going on. I like to see that.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sounds quite nice.
Let's do that. But for now, I feel like I get that feeling when I come into your center, in the center of Amsterdam, which I think is a huge deal.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
This is a little sanctuary in a city, which matters a whole bunch when you're in a city. We all know.
Especially as an expat, right?
Yeah.
There's no country house that I escaped to or my grandparents' house. I live here all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful city, but it is still very busy.
It is. It's an international, it always has been through ages. It's a very international traffic business society here.
How I know it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Biking or ringing your mics.
Yeah. So I think that you've accomplished the reverse, and now you want to go out and maybe integrate it even more.
Yeah, offer a wider spectrum of experiences. And I think we're not super busy with becoming like a household name that everybody has to know is when nature calls. But I think what me personally, I can say would love to see is that maybe we're not a household name, but our practices are a household name. That meditation is okay, that it is normal, that everyone meditates and writes in their gratitude journal before work, for example. So that's something I think more speaks to our mission and our vision.
It's a little
lotus.
Yeah.
Matcha with mushrooms.
I want to ask you, Patrick, as we wrap up, because I want to be mindful of your time.
Yeah.
I want to know what trends are. Tell us what you see on the horizon for this space. What is the thing that we will hear about in the next 2 years that you kind of have a beat on?
I think Ghana, the plant from South Africa, has a lot of potential. To mix it up, of course, with all kinds of adaptogens and herbs or supplements. So you got a nice tailor-made blend. But Kana is very, very interesting. And it comes in different forms as well. Now we have a good supplier, finally, really high quality. And for the next 2 years, the focus for me is there. Of course, to build the brand more, because the brand can grow much more to have eventually to accomplish the vision I have for the future for the next coming 20 years. But yeah, Kana could be very interesting.
It's been huge for me personally.
Yeah.
I haven't tried all the blends you have here, but as a relationship with the blend, it's very.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haylin, what about you? What do you see the trends in the industry or what within guys?
Gosh, yeah, there's a lot going on right now. I think there's so much studies, especially on microdosing. I think, it's still a hype, but there's still so much research that we need to do to show its benefits and long-term effects. So I'm quite interested to see what comes out of that and then how that influences, of course, big pharma as well. That's always going to be on our horizon. Kana as well, for sure. If you see the growth in its popularity in the last year, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, fascinating. Okay, I'm going to ask you another question then, because you didn't give me a strange enough answer. I need what's on the fringe, what's on the outside. What are the earliest adopters doing that none of us know about yet?
Oh.
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think cross modalities are becoming more of a thing, like doing combined also to maximize efficiency for busy lifestyles. So that might be like, for example, we're looking into doing cosmetic acupuncture while you do your yoga.
Go on.
Yeah.
Can I sign you up for that?
Yeah, lymphic massage.
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys are on the cutting edge already. And so that's why I just want to be in your brain and be talking to the vendors you're talking to.
Yeah, but we don't want to cut corners.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I want to go straight to the point, quality, very selective, and just bring in good, again, that wow factor, not only by the experience, not only by the entrance, but also the experience. Yeah, it needs to be a wow factor. It needs to do something with you.
Yeah, it needs to interact.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Well, I will tell. You guys are on the cutting edge of what I know is happening in space. So thank you for creating this beautiful place.
It's a pleasure.
This year,
thank you.
Podcast. It means a lot to have a space like this that's so aligned.
Yeah.
And we'll continue. We're announcing our partnership with you guys this week for House of Peregrine. So we'll do some events here. Give people a good sample of what it is you are up to here. And as it's always evolving, we will have a very fun year doing that, I think.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. Looking forward.
Thank you so much for coming on and for sharing all this with us. And please tell people how they can get in contact with When Nature Calls and whatever else you want to share with our listeners.
Yeah, of course, they can always check our website, whennaturecalls.nl, or email us, info@whennaturecalls. We are on all social media platforms as well. Easy to find. That's no problem. You can always get in contact somehow for us. No problem.
Or just come and visit. We're very friendly. We're open 7 days a week. And you can just come into our coffee bar. You don't have to come because you have a class. If you want to, that's great. But no, just come and have a chat with us. Explore the products. Try for yourself.
If you don't want to do coffee, we also have a nice ceremonial cacao. Of course, the organic matcha, and it's coming more and more. But just have a chat. Yeah, it's fine.
Make a relationship with the space.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, everyone.
It speaks for itself.
Come check it out. When Nature Calls. Thank you again, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed our show. For the latest insights on living internationally, Join us at houseofperegrine.com to find out how you can connect with our community. Let's craft our life story with intention together.